Hi there, this is Dani. The channel is You and Me Living Free, and we are doing a hike today in one of the most beautiful places. It's called Valley of the Gods, and I will tell you the story of how I even found this place. Here's me driving out Valley of the Gods road, and there's lots of BLM camping along this road. And that's the other thing I want to tell you about this video is this was the best campsite I have ever had, and I'll show you specifically my site at the end. So today we're going to be talking about hiking. Let me tell you first of all that every time I do a strenuous hike or I do one of these hikes, someone or several people in the comments will say, you need to get a set of hiking poles. And I thought, you know what, you are absolutely right. I'm sure I need to get a set of hiking poles, but I hadn't yet. And I was under the impression that hiking poles were kind of for rocky terrain, for when I might not be able to get my balance. I didn't realize until people shared with me in the comments things like the fact that they could really help you on uphills. They help you with your momentum. They help you share the load of the work that you're doing, and they make uphills and downhills easier. Hiking poles do. So I was like, okay, definitely I need to get some. So I did. And this is me as I'm getting ready to get set up here. The brand name for these poles is Cascade Mountain Tech. And they came in this nice little carrying case. And here's the card. It says, that their goal is to make my time in the outdoors more enjoyable, more affordable, and more accessible for everyone. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. Plus, these poles were like under $25. So I thought it's a good thing to start out. They came with all these attachments for the bottoms. And then on the little card that I just showed, it said, check our website to see how to use the attachments. And I was out on BLM land. I had no coverage. So there was no way I was going to be able to check the website. As usual, I just winged it and did the best I could. So I'd never used hiking poles before. I'd also never photographed myself in this way. You see lots of YouTubers who are so good at this. They will set up a camera and then they will walk by, and it just looks like so natural and so cool. And you almost think maybe they had someone with them who was taking the photograph, but really they didn't. They're just really good at using their tripod, and they're setting up their shots and stuff. This takes so much effort. This was me with my first test, and I was like, okay, I'll walk away and then I'll walk toward it. Let's see if the camera's set up right. I'm just moving along, just doing the best I can. I thought my camera turned off there. I was thinking, can I even see myself? So I kept turning around to see if I was still in the frame or in the shot. And then I didn't realize how far away I was getting. In another one of these shots, it looks like I'm like a little speck off in the distance, but I just thought it was kind of funny. So I wanted to share this whole first take. So now when you see someone on YouTube and they have set up a shot where they're walking by, or heaven knows how they do it when they're driving by. They either set their tripod up or they have a drone or something, and then they show them driving by in all these cool places. But now maybe you will have a new appreciation, if you didn't already, on how much work this is and by how good they have to be. But I did want to show you some of the landscape because it is so gorgeous out here. There's me trying to use the poles.
Like that.
What a beautiful angle, right? And you can kind of tell as I bent down there that my camera is on the ground. It's because I brought my tripod. But as I do a close-up of the thing here, you will see that I forgot one of the attachments to it. And so it was of no use to me because I couldn't screw my phone into this thing. There's another attachment that I needed. So I left it at home. So all these shots are like from the ground. Here I am again. You can tell I'm on my feet. Okay, now I'm just gonna show you me coming back. Can you even see me back there? I'm clear back on the left, and I wanted to get up that hill so I could use my poles going up little hills and down little hills so that I could get the experience. But While I'm taking my time coming back, let me tell you how I even found this place. So a couple of videos back, or maybe last video, I did my Monument Valley video, which was amazing. I loved Monument Valley. Who wouldn't, right? It's completely iconic. So when I was trying to get the perfect shot of Monument Valley, I went to mile marker 13 north of Monument Valley. Well, I came to Monument Valley from the south, so I wasn't naturally on that road, but I came up 13 to mile marker 13 to get the view from the north. Once I hit mile marker 13 on that road somewhere, I noticed a sign for Mexican Hat, which is a town. I think it's in Utah. I'm close to the border, so it's always kind of hard to know for sure. There I come. Hi. See the camera on the ground again. Anyway, I didn't want it to get distracted. So I Googled stuff around Mexican Hat. I found Valley of the Gods. So not only is it great just to drive through if that's all you have time for, but it is wonderful for BLM. And this is actually the road that you drive in on, but I'm using it for my hike today. I wanted to practice with my poles before I really needed them. I wanted to get the feel of them. I need to know that if I am on a rocky terrain or something where I need to help use them for balance, that they will support me. And so this was just the beginning of getting to know my poles, getting to know how they work, and getting to understand how to use them. So I used it on this quite easy hike. Well, I call it an easy hike. It was probably ended up doing about 3 miles this day, but it's pretty flat. And it was literally about, 70 or 72 degrees. So it really was the perfect day. Again, on this shot, I started from so far away. I was just almost a little dot, because it's like once you go to the trouble to set up the shot, you kind of feel like you really want to make it count. Here I am in my hat. I definitely don't do these hikes without it because of the sun. That sun is really something else. But this is so gorgeous. Just look at this. And there's me just trudging along. But look how gorgeous. But one of the things is that this is what keeps me hiking. This is what keeps me going, is this right here, is going around this corner to see what other gorgeousness have I not seen yet. There's always this potential going around a corner. It's kind of like the joy I feel like waking up in a new place or getting to explore a new place in a given day. It's like what awaits me, I am not sure. I haven't seen it before. I haven't done it before. So it's something new. And there's this great anticipation. And sometimes it's not much around the corner, and sometimes it's completely spectacular. But the thing is, you have to move forward and you have to get around that corner in order to see for sure what is there. So sometimes I'll feel like quitting, and then I'll think there'll be a little corner up ahead, right? And I think, oh, well, let's just see what's around this corner. And then if I still feel like quitting, then I will. And yet here's another corner that I'm about to go around. And I just think these rocks are really cool. I think I do one more thing where I walk away as well. There weren't that many people out here. I was here on a weekend too. There were some motorcycles, some cars, and some people that were camping, but we were all pretty far apart. Nobody was really obnoxious or anything. I mean, people were really great. They were just there to enjoy the scenery. And so kind of a hot hike once you just kind of stand there in the sun. I definitely got sweaty and everything. But compared to some of my other hikes that are definitely in the mountains and definitely up and downhill, it's really nice to have something that is mostly flat. I didn't shoot these shots right along the road. I'm next to the road, but I'm off doing little offshoots. Because there were cars that were coming by and stuff, and I didn't want to get all dusty or anything, because it's dusty out here when a car goes by, especially if they go fast. Here we go. I'm finally on my way back. I'm realizing all these little offshoots and all this little extra videography that I've been doing to try to get myself hiking has kind of worn me out, and I still have to walk back. So as I said, this ended up being about 3 miles. That's another thing that I love about out and back hikes is I swear that even though you're kind of covering the same ground, you have a different perspective. So it is like a different hike when you're on your way back. This was so magnificent in person. I know it's hard to see on the screen, but there were so many layers of this sandstone and so many great shapes. Look at that back there. So many layers of sandstone, so many great shapes, so much cool stuff to see that it never got old. I could have stayed here for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and been perfectly happy, like I said, if I hadn't ran out of ice and if I wasn't so excited about where I was going next. But here's a little bit of the road coming in that you can see, and a couple of cars were out there. The gravel's in good shape. This was easy to do in my minivan. I had no issues whatsoever. I would say if you are anywhere in the area to visit Valley of the Gods and at least drive through, and if you can, then stay here because it's gorgeous. There's my specific campsite that I had. And I'm going to give you the whole 360 view. The road is off behind me to the right, and I was plenty far away from the road, so I didn't get any of the dust or anything that would fly up when a car would go by, because it is dusty. But as long as it's not too windy or anything, the dust isn't really a factor. And there were literally almost no bugs whatsoever. There were a couple of flies, a couple of gnats, maybe at dusk and dawn times. This place had spectacular sunrises and sunsets, and I want to shout from the rooftops that everyone should go here. I know that people get funny about sharing camping spots because they feel like everybody will go and then they won't be able to enjoy them, but I just don't buy that. There were so many spots out here, plus there were plenty of places for 4 or 5 people to camp at each single location if they needed to, at least a couple of people. So each one was like a group parking lot, it was like a group campsite. So there's plenty of room for all, and it's just so gorgeous. I don't want anybody to miss it, really. If you have the opportunity, then I want you to know about it and I want you to be able to go. And so this was my view. Right out my window, I had each of these monuments, that one and then the one behind it, in my view. And it was such joy to see them in the morning light, to see them at sunset, and they looked completely different and really cool every time I looked at them, depending on how the light was hitting them. Anyway, you made it to the end of another video. Here we are. I think that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed the hike. If you've got any tips about those hiking poles or using them a little better, feel free to share. I'm just going to share a little bit more footage as I am driving out. Very sad to leave this place. Look at that. But here are the GPS coordinates too for anybody who wants them. Valley of the Gods Road. It was super simple, super easy to get to. Whoops, that's cut off. Let me do a better job on that. Here we go. There are the coordinates for anybody who wants them. And thanks for making it to the end of another video. I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and I will catch you next time.